I have a question for you this new day, friends, and that is, are you dizzy and distracted, or are you focused and firm? I want to talk for just a few moments on how to create and how to live in the resolve of eternal clarity. This really hit me today as I was dropped off to work early, about 6:20 a.m. And I had an early start to the day, got to hit the gym and get the body moving and grooving, feeling that dopamine, that serotonin. But I was really looking forward to stepping away, to start my morning with the Bible in 1 year, as I was going into Amos chapters 5 through 7, looking at Luke chapter 12, and I went to the fourth floor of work at USAA, and it outlooks over Pikes Peak. It's just majestic. It's beautiful. It's a great place to go and think and to be still and to take moments away. And it's a quiet zone. And I got to that spot. I sat down and I just looked at the mountain. I gazed and I just stopped and I pondered and I paused. Dizziness does lead to distraction. The busyness, the hustle and bustle leaves us empty and void at the end of the day. Because if I don't stop and consider where I'm going, and I'm just busy with task after task, I have no time to really evaluate what's going on. Where is this whole thing going? Where is life going? If I'm living in the moment for the moment, I miss out on the joy of the big picture. The big picture is eternity. I am firmly convinced, friends, we were envisioned for eternity. We were created with forever in mind. Let that sink in. Just take a moment and think about that. We were created with forever in mind. Not 80, 20, 90, 50 years. Forever. Forever is what we were created for. When I fixate on the here and now, I always miss the joy of the big picture. And we were created to have a purpose, why we do things and where we're going. And where we're where we're going with our actions, with our decisions, and with our lives. We were created for purpose, friends. And when I get so busy that I lose sight of all of that, life gets really cloudy. I know I've found that to be true, and there's moments like today that clarity is reestablished, and that's what I long for, to live in the place of strength, of eternal clarity, big picture thinking. And to this matter, I want to ask you one pointed question. What really lasts forever? What really does? Are the things that I'm investing so much energy into really that important, or are they just the tyranny of the urgent? What's calling and shouting the loudest, or is it really what matters in the big picture? What lasts forever? What really lasts forever? Tonight I listened to Phil Wickham's song, Heaven Song, and it immediately took me back to the day that I'll never forget, that's etched deep within my heart, that we buried Mercy. I haven't talked much about this moment. This moment is one of great pain, of great sorrow. Oh, the depth of the emotion. It's just crazy because we got 58 days with Mercy. Mercy finished her mission in 58 days. But there was a finality that set in. when her body was lowered, if you can picture it, lowered, in the casket I carried with my two bare hands out to the cemetery, lowered down into the ground 6 feet deep. And then Kimberly and I were invited to take some dirt and sprinkle it on top. Those moments I will never forget. Things got real. But the song I had in the background was Heaven's Song by Phil Wickham, and I wept. I wept. It was the first time Kimberly and I just hit pause, and the gravity of what was happening sunk deep. Mercy had passed into eternity, but we still had a journey to travel without her. And I had no idea how much longer we would be in the NICU. So thankful I didn't have any idea about that. But as I listened to that song, clarity entered my heart and my soul. That this life is not it. This life is fleeting. David said, we're like a vapor. We're like mere breath. Here today, gone tomorrow. And friends, please don't get so busy in the hustle and bustle that you really miss eternity. Many people gamble the pleasure of the here and now, the focus on the here and now, at the cost of eternity. Eternity is very real. As the author of Hebrews stated, it is appointed for man to die once, and then comes judgment. To rewind back to this morning, as I looked at the mountains, there was a very, very sharp clarity that one day I'm standing before the judgment seat of Christ. I'm giving an account for my life. The fear of God brought so much clarity to my heart. And I paused there and I let my heart serenade in the reality that this is not it. That there's so much at stake and so much that can be lost or gained in my decisions now. And it was so clarifying to look at the big picture, to realize, okay, this is going somewhere. I don't want you to miss this, friend. Please don't miss this. I know I'm going a little long in this video, but I know it's on purpose here. Please don't miss eternity. And I want to encourage you, maybe you need to spend some time remembering a loss. Remembering, okay, this life is short and it's over quick. I don't decide when it is, but it's going to be over. Solomon, the wisest man to live, one of the greatest kings of all of Israel's history, declared in the book of Ecclesiastes, as he looked at what is the meaning of life, and he set his heart to many things. What's the point? What's the purpose? And he allowed his heart to not experience any pleasure. He went after it all. But it's fascinating what he says. He says it is better to go to a house of mourning than a house of feasting. Why? Because the death is the end of all men, and they should take this to heart. Please don't go through today without realizing the gravity. There is an end, but then there's forever. Please take some moments and gain the clarity of eternal perspective.